Buller Berry. Using my old trusty original 1 ounce silver round Buller Bear coin, and she comes up a bull. Good morning, folks. What's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in slightly warm Lauderdale by the Sea. Man, we are in the summer months right now. 84 degrees. What is it? Not even 10 o'clock yet. Let's take a look. 9:50. We've been having some like 105, 110 degree heat index days. And of course, this is what a 110 heat index day looks like. Not much to see, but that humidity kind of comes in. You know, but that's the worst part of Florida is when we get our hot sea, or the hottest season, I should say. We get warm, hot, and hotter, I guess, down here. But right now we're in the hotter part of the season, and great time to visit Florida, actually. If you're going to spend time in the water, man, you know, it's a good time. You can go out there, jump in the water, get out. It's kind of warm out a little bit, but you can see there's a nice breeze. And what is it, actually 84 right now? Actually a little bit cooler than it has been in the mornings lately. But we're not here to talk about weather. We're here to talk about you know, what's going on in the gold and silver markets here. Let me reduce that a little bit. Sorry about that. And this is the amazing James Randi. And for those of you that don't know who he is, he's a debunker of sorts. And I like this quote: "The conjurer or the con man is a very good provider of information. He supplies lots of data by inference, or direct statement, but it's false data. Scientists aren't used to that scenario. An electron or a galaxy is not capricious nor deceptive, but a human can be either or both." Why are we going to talk about that? Well, just for a reminder out there, here we're getting back into the same old subject. But before I do, I'd like to, this is satire, I'd like to bring up the sponsor of today's show, the CME Group, the world's leading derivatives marketplace and bullshit paper contracts and all kinds of crooked stuff out there. But also the leader in providing you the opportunity to buy gold, silver, and platinum at super cheap prices. And of course, if you're going to buy gold, silver, and platinum, don't you want to buy it on the cheap? You don't want to buy it on the high side. We'll get into that in a moment, folks. But again, that was satire in my opinion. I just have to let that be known. Speaking of the Crimex Group, woo! Gosh darn, they monkey hammered it today. $933.20, $17 down on gold. And where gold goes, silver will eventually follow in these current markets the way they are. Silver, $23.28, banged pretty good by the tune of 70 cents, but this is not uncommon. We've seen this. And platinum back into that stupid low money area. Again, for you folks out there that were hoping to get rich off gold and silver quick, well, it still ain't happening, is it? But for you folks out there understanding what gold, silver, and platinum really is, it is a hedge against a falling dollar. Dollar doesn't fall overnight. The dollar takes time to fall. It has its ups and downs, okay? But the gold and silver is a hedge against a falling dollar. And speaking of falling dollars, so let's take a look at the DXY right now. I've got the dollar index chart up for, that's 1 day. That's the current chart. But let's take a look at the dollar DXY chart here from Market Watch for since they started it or whenever they started compiling the data. That appears to be 1986. The DXY is sitting above in that 125 range. Let me turn that phone off. Give me 1 second. I should know better. There we go. So we're sitting in that 125 range right there. But, you know, the overall trajectory of the dollar is downward. And let's take another look at another chart. Now, these are facts. This is their own facts, folks. This is their own data, their own information. And I know what Randy just said, Mr. Randy just said here, lots of data by inference or direct statement, but it's false data. But, you know, is this false data to some degree? Probably not. Because, well, it's probably worse than this, actually, so it probably is false data. But the overall direction of the U.S. dollar is just downward, okay? And I know people talk about the dollar strength, but dollar strength is nothing more than the dollar compared to the other fiat turds out there. Currently, we're sitting at 102. It's keeping above that 100 line right here. And you can see these are points actually where gold and silver went up quite a bit and it's made some moves. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to have to decline that call. They should know I'm doing something. And the DXY right now is, I think it's falling. I think what we're going to see is another low into this point. And don't say it's impossible. That's 2008. That's the big financial collapse. And anyone that doesn't think that, or thinks that this market and this economy is fixed globally and domestically, only fool themselves, all right? And the data that the con men are using to get people to believe that everything's okay, relax, calm down, is not true. And I've said many times, the Fed, Fed Powell in his current situation, but all the Fed directors were basically captains of a sinking ship, except they knew they could get off the ship and they knew they'd be fine. In the end game, they'd be okay. They'd be living in nice houses and eating good. They weren't going to sink with the ship. But who is going to sink with the ship is probably a majority of the Americans out there, majority of the working class and poor out there are going to be the ones. And some of the rich that aren't paying attention or delusional, thinking that the data they're looking at is real. Anyways, I digress. Let's get back over to the dollar index here, to DXY. Currently sitting at, around that 100 level right here. And not 100, but just above it. And let me dismiss that. And I believe we're going to be heading back down to this. And again, that's why you own gold. Gold is a hedge against that. But a lot of people are going to say, well, why do I want to own gold when these crooks right here are allowing their crooked casino, allowing the big whales, and the whales being the big money, whether it's commercial traders or whether it's the managed money traders, to cheat in these markets, which they clearly do. And a lot of people say, well, again, why do I want to be involved with gold and silver? It's a crooked market. Well, folks, I got to tell you, every market is crooked out there, including your housing market is crooked out there. The only reason the housing market is crooked to the upside is because they can tax you more for it, and they get more income from insurance and all the other ways they can rape you as a homeowner and a property owner, all right? So all the markets are rigged out there. And, they can drop. Look, the Fed, it's a rigged market. The Fed, by raising interest rates, has dropped, real estate prices quite a bit in some areas. And if they continue to raise rates, your real estate prices, we could see the collapse of real estate prices. What is that, folks? That's rigged. That's a entity rigging a market, okay? So the entire world is rigged. Your housing is rigged. The stock market. If you think the silver market, and we're a small group of people here, if you think that the CME Group, the only market that's rigged with the CME Group markets is silver, boy, you got another thing coming. Absolutely gold. We can see it happen in gold markets and other metals markets, and I guarantee it happens in the oil markets and all that stuff. Ted Butler was talking, and we're going to get to him in a moment, but Ted Butler was talking about Gary Gensler. Would love or hate the guy, I don't know much about him myself, but brought into the CME Group and the COMEX groups the ability to restrict these large companies from going in and manipulating the oil prices, which what they were doing, okay? They were going in there manipulating oil prices, simply using this particular groups, the CME Group's crooked marketplace to do it. And the CFTC, more or less, was the governing agency that was supposed to keep track of this. Did not much. Well, Gary Gensler, then again, did bring in or reined in a little bit their ability to manipulate oil markets, but they just fought it in the courts, and basically that's all gone. They can still manipulate the hell out of these markets. And again, oil's manipulated. All these. Let's see where this is going here. Let's do a quick refresh. That was a flash crash if I've ever seen one. Look at that, 23.18. They're dropping the hammer on silver today. Folks, buy these freaking dips when you can, because they're giving it to you on the cheap. They're giving you don't buy the paper bullshit, don't buy into their paper bullshit, which is where these prices derived. This is just paper prices. These are paper prices. This is, but again, our spot market is derived on these bullshit paper prices. So if they're going to allow these crooked shorts to do this, go in and buy all the physical you can, especially buy these dips right now. And don't buy it because you think you're going to get rich quick. And most of you that thought that not too long ago or a little while ago have realized otherwise. But most of those guys that wanted to get rich quick in the gold and silver markets, they're off to something new, cryptos, or no, they're out of cryptos now, I'm sure. They're into something new, some multi-level Tupperware marketing or something like that. Let's, wow, the monkey hammering is happening today, and there's nothing organic about these prices falling, folks. This is not gold and silver and platinum prices, capitulation by physical investors. This is merely right here nonsense happening in the paper COMEX markets. It's just pure and simple crooked behavior. And why it is allowed to continue to happen, we'll get into that in a moment, but take a look at this. I think maybe Elon Musk woke up and sold all his gold jewelry today. That's why, I mean, come on, give me a fucking break. Look at this. This is nothing organic, folks. But for folks, for you folks out there that are, first off, any of you new buyers out there, do not even think about selling. Don't think about it. For any of you guys that have been hanging on for a while, don't think about selling. We're in a hold moment, in my opinion. Hold or buy. Buy the frickin' dips or hold in this market. And they're giving, I mean, gosh darn, that's a gift right there, okay? Well, providing the premiums don't go crazy up today, which I don't think they will. This will be a gift for the next couple days at the very least, okay? So buy the dips when you can. If you're already bought in, you got all the pressure, you got all the silver and gold you need. And let me preface that with, no one should have all their money in all their eggs in one basket, so to speak. So anybody that just has all their money in gold, silver, and platinum, not smart in my opinion. Even though I got to admit I got a lot of money in gold, silver, and platinum, but this is my market. I watch it every day. But always be diversified. Don't have all your money in this stuff. This, again, a hedge against the U.S. dollar. So I'm not saying go out there and sell other assets to buy more silver and gold. Of course, there's people out there doing it. And maybe in this type of environment where you see these type of inorganic down markets, it's probably not a bad idea. Let's take a look at silver, which just happens to trade identical to gold, even though they're two different metals and they're bought for different reasons to some degree. Look, gold is getting hammered and silver is getting hammered right now. And again, this is a gift for you buyers out there. For you sellers out there, for people that need to sell for one reason or another, your days are numbered health-wise or physically. And I get that. It's disappointing. It is. But maybe it's a good time to, well, anyways, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say maybe it's a good time to take it out on the people that really need to if you only have a limited amount of days. But boy, that's a kind of vindictive statement there. But here you go. Nothing organic. Again, buy the frickin' dips, folks. And let's get into the kind of crooked behavior that we're talking about. We know where it happens at. Butler, you can read this for free on gata.org. Ted Butler, when it comes to the manipulation of the silver markets and the gold markets as well, silver particularly, there's nobody out there smarter than Ted Butler. He is the #1 authority when it comes to explaining how these markets are crooked and how they do it and who potentially and why on top of it. And of course we all know the why. It's just pure effing greed, crookedness, greed, and con men. Market analysis, Ted Butler reports a stunning increase in the monetary metals derivatives position of J.P. Morgan Bank and Bank of America, which brings up that we talked about this, and if you go back and look at some of my old videos, Bank of America is on the hook. We believe Bank of America is on the hook for a huge amount of gold and silver. And who are they on the hook with? With J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, all right? The biggest crooks amongst them all, the top daddy out there, J.P. Morgan Chase, in my opinion. #1 crook out there when it comes to marketplace. And next to Blackwater, probably, or not Blackwater, BlackRock. But that's a whole different story for another day. Bank of America is stupid, in the opinion of a lot of people. They're not in. They've never really been into buying gold and silver. This is not their marketplace. Ted Butler basically talks that they got suckered in by J.P. Morgan and Chase into this huge physical position that they're going to owe back to J.P. Morgan Chase, which means that they're already in the red for it. Supposedly they've bought this silver at $20 an ounce. Supposedly they were in this gold at $18 an ounce, $1,800 an ounce. So that would indicate at this point that they could have gotten out of those positions at the time if they could have bought the silver. So there's all kinds of implication. Can Bank of America go out there and buy that silver that they're short on or that they owe JP? Probably not. I mean, that's a tonnage amount of silver that they bought. Can they replace it in the open market? Maybe not in the short term. Maybe that's why we're seeing lower silver prices, is Bank of America or somebody and or other entities are trying to help them not default on this silver position, or at least break even on it. with the CFTC turning a blind eye to it. But hey, make your own make your own assessments on this. Really good article. Again, you can read it for free on gata.org. I'm going to move into a Butlers article real quick here and just kind of go over it real quick. This is a paid subscription, so I can't show you too much of it, but it is quoted by other folks out there, and I want to kind of give you the gist of it. It always used to be that the 4 biggest commercial shorts on comics single-handedly accounted for enough new short selling on every silver price rally that kept a lid on prices. And JP Morgan held a net short position in comics futures of 40,000 contracts, 200 million ounces, folks. These are just the paper numbers. There's not enough silver out there to probably, that's more than what, I don't even know what a year's mining supply is and what above ground supply is, but it's, again, just fake bullshit paper. However, over the past decade, the managed money traders have as a group become extremely large short sellers in silver, but always establishing a large short position on lower, not higher prices. It's been quite a curious phenomenon because whenever the managed money traders get heavily short in silver, they never, to Ted's knowledge, were able to collect profitably in their silver short positions. In fact, despite it being easy to discern the collective managed money shorting drove prices lower and the subsequent buyback and covering of those short positions drove prices higher, the regulators pretended not to notice as if it was a perfect legitimate for speculators to be driving prices and not the actual supply and demand. Now here, key word, the regulators pretending not to notice as if it was perfectly legitimate for speculators to be driving prices and not the actual supply and demand fundamentals. The cover story was that no one managed money trader was amassing an individual position that was dictating prices, so the regulators were able to look away. And it gets technical there, folks. You know, some of you folks know exactly what he's talking about. Some of you folks, it might be Greek, but you get the overall where this is going. But Ted says after decades, I think he's about 40 years now, decades that he's been following it, the cover story was blown away when over 3 weeks in April, a large individual money managed trader has amassed a short position as large as 10,000 contracts, 50 million ounces. That put a lie to any claim of legitimate speculative position in silver. Now here's what Ted's talking about. This is, this is simply to drive the prices down by managed money. This is not any effort on speculation, and this is not any effort to hedge. This is, because they're not miners, this is simply a way to monkey hammer the prices down. So is it possible that maybe the managed money has learned how to do what the commercials have been doing for a long time? Maybe, but again, fairly new, hasn't happened in decades, and that's what Ted's talking about here. You could stand on your head and whistle Dixie and not come close to legitimately explaining how a 50 million ounce short position held by a single speculator would not be manipulative to the price of silver. That is, for anyone other than the worthless government regulators called the CFTC and their worthless people, and the criminal group called the CME Group, in my opinion. These guys are criminal. All of them, in my opinion, are either criminal and or complicit and or stupid, all right? So what's so interesting about the large individual managed money position is that it was a short position, all right? You can get more into this, but folks, this is a gift. These lower prices, and let's see where they're going right now. Have they stopped? No, they have not. 1930, they're trying to take it to a new level here, folks, and again, when did it happen? Happened right here at the start in the criminal Crimex New York market, happened right here, and again, this is not real capitulation. This is simply, wow, in your face, dishonest, corrupt bullshit. This is simply what that is, with no regulators and no law to tell them to do otherwise, run by one of the most crooked casinos in the world called the CME Group. Man, it amazes me that investors or anybody wants to play in a crooked casino like this, but they do, and they keep getting suckered in, and that's exactly what's happening. All right, I digress here. Let's move along to a couple other things. Where are we going from here? Oh boy, where can we go from here? Buy the frickin' dips. Good article by VBL. I like this gentleman. I believe his name is Vince, and he writes some good stuff here. He talks about history repeating itself, exploring the Chinese silver standard. The Chinese have bought a lot of silver, and they will continue to buy more and more silver as an alternative. But really good article with some historic some history involved with it as well. Highly recommend you read it. You can read it for free on Zero Hedge. It's by VBL. And that's it, folks. I think, man, hold on a second. We got to answer some questions from last week's video. Let's see here. YT, all right. YT, there we go, YT. And where is my YT? There it is. Hang on a second. Sorry, I should have had this up for you already. Oh God, I got to go through all this now. Your videos. I don't know how to get there quicker. All right, this thing is so slow today. Give me 1 second. And there we go. Yeah, you can see I don't know what I'm doing. Navigating around. All right, let's get into some questions from last week's video. I'll answer a few. Not too many here, too. Michael Matthews, what's up? Cheers to you. Cup of coffee here. Colombian bean. Straight up. The sound issue sometimes happens when the video first comes out for some reason. The audio doesn't always start up. Glad you love the booger, Linda. I really thought it was one. If you want to know what I'm talking about, it was something that was on the screen there from this video that we did up here. Yep, true, got to fish where the baits are. That's true. Thank you, Rasputin. Appreciate that. One of the, or the reminder that I got to go fishing. That's what I appreciate. One of these days I'm going to visit you down there. Please do, big dog. Carl Tan Hill, 80307. What is your definition of clean coins? Clean coin is any coin where the surface has been altered. And not purposely or not purposely, where the surface is actually altered from its original state. That would be clean. And mostly mechanically cleaned, which means scratches or abrasive type cleaning. You can also have acids that clean stuff and all kinds of things actually. Rub something with your thumb enough, you'll clean it. I like these fishy videos, even if they clean boogers. Yeah, everybody liked the boogers too. We're facing diametrically opposed opposition now. Who's got the right change? Yeah, man, it's just, yeah, it's just sad state of affairs, folks. Listen, I mean, with our silver market, we're watching it. It's like they're telling us we know we're a bunch of crooks. We know we're just pulling the strings and letting pushing silver down purposely. We know it's all crooked. We know it's all bullshit. There's no silver to back this shit up. We know it, and we know that a small percentage of you folks know it, but a majority of folks still don't. So fuck you. That's what they're saying to us, folks. They really are. And they're probably the same thing when it comes to the economy and elections and all this other stuff. We know it. F you. I certainly don't understand these markets. I was selling gold, so I wouldn't want it to go up. I don't understand why they want to smash. It makes no sense to me. It is complicated, but again, you have to. Sorry about that. I keep turning these phones off. Should have put them in the other room. It's complicated, but again, if you start reading Ted Butler's articles, highly recommend it, Christina. Read Ted Butler's articles, and they're a little complicated, but if you're not familiar with something he's talking about, go to Investopedia. They have a good dictionary there on economic terms, and little tutorials to understand what a short position is, what a long position. But folks, that's really where the crookedness takes place. Again, in the CME Group's criminal crime X markets, and no regulation whatsoever. And if they are, they're either complicit or just effing morons. Keep buying. Platinum is a frickin' steal, in my opinion. But it occurred to me after this last couple of years is if I thought the silver market was crooked, the platinum market's even smaller. That's a bigger crooked marketplace in the criminal crime X markets, for sure. But what does that mean? Well, let them keep driving it down to super dirt price. Let them drive it dirt cheap, man. Buy all the physical you can. And again, tell everybody in the world that the criminal crime X paper markets are crooked, and encourage them to keep buying physical. Buy the physical. And again, I think it's going to be a great week to buy physical. There's no silver coming out of Mexico. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. And again, you would think that Mexico just found a mine made out of silver. Look at this. That would indicate that Mexico just announced that they found an entire mountain made out of silver and it didn't need to be refined. They could just pick it off. This is just so in your face, folks, crooked. It's not even funny. All right, let me get out of here. I don't want to keep railing on that. Newmont Mine. Oh, there you are, Celtic Knot. Haven't seen you in a while. When the equities market collapsed and the gold could descend. Yeah, I mean, it happened in 2008. But it won't be physical gold. It won't be capitulation of physical gold. It'll be capitulation of bullshit paper contracts in the gold and silver and platinum markets. That's what is driving the price right now, not real silver. And again, take advantage of it if you can. And if you can't, sit and hold and enjoy the shit show. Newmont went on strike. Yeah, folks, this is just all leading to higher and higher silver prices, which we haven't been seeing. All right, that's it. Got to get going here. If you happen not to find me on this particular forum, you can find me here. I'm backing up a lot of my stuff here, and it is a great free speech forum, so I can't imagine they'd ever throw me off here, no matter what I said. But I try to keep it fairly clean and simple. But sometimes that other forum, or the forum that you're watching right now, is not so forgiving for stuff they don't like. You can also catch me out on this other free speech forum, which is Twitter, run by Elon Musk. Again, since he's taken it over, I believe this has become a much more wonderful place to express your opinions and not get thrown out of the metaverse. Fucking dick, excuse my language, Zuckerberg. That's my opinion. All right, I better not say anymore. I'm getting a little crude here. That's it, folks. Listen, the Lakeland Collectorama Show starts on Thursday and ends on Saturday. If you like gold, silver, and platinum and you live in Florida, Lakeland is like an hour from Tampa, an hour from Orlando, thereabouts. In Miami, it's 3.5, 4 hours. But, centrally located, great show. Get your free tickets to get into the show for free. The dates, again, are June 22nd to the 24th. I believe that it opens to the public on Thursday at 10 a.m., I believe, and ends on 3 p.m. on Saturday. Again, fun show, even a lot of collectibles and cool stuff there as well. Go to the collectoramashow.com site, get your free tickets, and learn more about where the show is and all that other cool stuff. Hey, thanks for watching, folks. I forgot to put up my, hey, I might as well here. Oh, look, this is where I get my quotes from. Commercial rare coins. And don't forget, if you're looking to buy gold, silver, and platinum, anywhere from $1's worth to millions of dollars worth, we've been around a long time. We buy and sell all types of gold, silver, and platinum. We'll beat APMEX, SD, JM Bullion on their reasonably priced gold and silver products. We'll also beat the locals down here in Florida. If you don't live in Florida, please try to find yourself a good local dealer. And if you can't find a good local dealer, give us a call. We'll see what we can do to help you out. That's it, folks. Have yourself a wonderful day. I'm going to Lakeland tomorrow. I'll try to knock out a video, but I can't promise anything. And I've been busy as hell, so I have been lacking in producing videos, but hopefully that'll change at some point. Thanks again for watching, and have a nice day. Bye now.